Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Simply Defensive. I'm Josh Mason. With me, my co-host Wade Wells. Wade, wave to people.
What's up?
And today we've got with us Dan Reardon, who some of you might know as Haircut Fish. Dan, great to have you here, man.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Long time coming. You canceled like 4 times. Like you're just a prima donna or something. I don't know.
It's a busy couple weeks.
It has been a bit. That's what I was gonna say. We need to stop talking about dates in these podcasts.
It's hard to do. We all just got back from Wild West Hacking Fest when we're recording this. So yeah, we tried to get it beforehand. It didn't work. So here we are. So Dan
canceled today
about yourself.
Go ahead.
So I am currently a SOC analyst at the company QSI Banking. I started there probably about 3 months ago. And I've been enjoying it. There's a lot of room for growth. I've been on this path for a bit trying to get into cyber, and I'm glad I'm finally here. I am a meme maker. If you catch Jerry's stream Thursdays, I make a meme. And so usually it's Jerry. I've been branching out and adding others. Wade, I had as one. I actually have an idea for myself to put in one. But I'll leave it at that for now until I make it.
There were a lot of John Strand memes as well.
There was. It originally started with John Hammond. It was that shot somebody creepily took of him walking across like in the street like that. And so
you started that.
I started the memes for that. I didn't take the picture.
Gotcha.
But with the picture, I started the memes. So there was the one where he's walking with Sasquatch. He's riding Nessie. I did a where is Waldo? Where is Waldo? One of him and Deb she goes, I've spent way too much of my work hours trying to find.
Did you talk to him at Wild West Hacking Fest that you were the one that started those?
Oh yeah, I actually back a couple of years back at B-Side Charm, I talked to him a little bit. He was just walking past, and I said, somebody goes, "Hey, I think that's John Hammond." And I go, holy crap, that's John Hammond. And so I taught, like, he was only there real quick. So like, wasn't much room for talking. So I got my picture with him. I said, hey, thanks for the content. You make some good stuff. And I did get to talk to him at Wild West. In fact, I gave him one of my coins that I had. And he thanked me for it. So
nice.
I think meme creator isn't the proper term. You need to be like a meme connoisseur, or like, like what's the fancy name for people who drink wine? Sommelier.
Aficionado. Sommelier.
Yeah, someone needs to get on that. Make a better meme.
Meme sommelier.
Yeah.
You're like the Leonardo da Vinci of memes.
Hey, I had to start somewhere. Some of my early ones were really bad. Looking back at them now, like the one that I've gone through and redid a couple of them. One of them was, and I share it occasionally in Black Hills, is the one where John Strand looks like Papa John, and it says "Better InfoSec Black Hills." The first one I did, you can distinctly see like the big orange line from where his hat was in the picture I used. But then like once I got better at blending and like color, making the colors right, I redid it, and now it looks like that's actually him standing there.
Very nice.
What do you think the direct correlation between meme and cybersecurity culture is?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Right. I feel like you're on the precipice of it, so you would know.
For me, it helped me get in the door with meeting a lot of people that I probably typically wouldn't meet. By like not only making memes of like maybe John Hammond and John Strand, it kind of like, as I said, opened the door to being able to talk to them, like, and just like, hey, I did this. Like, there are still times I make one of Jerry, and I'm just waiting for his response because I'm like, did I go too far with this or whatnot? And so, like, I feel that everybody kind of has their in with cybersecurity. And for me, it was like, I've always been very creative and I've always loved making things. And this was kind of my way of getting into cyber. Was I really enjoyed like blue teaming and all that. And I love to make things. So I kind of just brought them together.
That's awesome. Is meme generation on the pyramid of pain or in the social attack framework?
The pyramid of social pain. How dare you? You got it wrong.
My mistake.
It is not,
Yeah.
but it's definitely gonna be like between levels 1 and 2. I think I could add it to the social attack framework,
Definitely.
which I realize
ask,
kind of
is it
sounds
in
like
that?
yeah. No.
For those who are curious, you're gonna have to catch the video from Waldo's Hacking Fest whenever it's up.
That was an amazing closing keynote, Wade. By the way, you did awesome.
Thank you. Let's not talk about me. I got upset. Someone got upset and told me I talk about myself too much already. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
Wade's still recovering from being the center of attention for an hour.
Dude, that was rough, but it's all right. It's all right. One thing that I really want to highlight about Dan is his blog. So Dan and I have talked about this a lot. I helped him set up his GitHub Pages website. If you look, it's just a clone of mine with different colors because neither of us wanted to figure out problems.
Basically, yes.
Pretty much. But when I was actually developing my CTI course, right, and I was looking for like more of entry-level blogs to see like if I was going the right direction, the first blog I stumbled across was Dan's. I didn't realize it. I read the whole thing and I'm like, oh, this one's pretty good. I'm going to like throw this into stuff. And then I read it and I was like, God damn it. Like, how is this guy writing better blogs than like my entire class right now? Like I was a little bit upset and I immediately messaged him and told him, but.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I still can't believe like the people that follow me on Medium, because I posted both on Medium and on my personal page. I still can't believe the amount of people that follow me for those. And I do get the comments like, hey, like this helped me out. And people just generally enjoying the blog. I've only had one negative comment, and I actually responded back to the person asking, because they weren't very constructive with it. And I said, could you give me more information and I can use it to help better? They never responded back. So I'm like, they just wanted to be mean, like whatever. But so
haters gonna hate.
Exactly. And so, but yeah, I originally started doing a blog, not necessarily on TryHackMe rooms. Like I actually started writing some kind of articles on like, I can't even remember it now. It's like a blog space page, and it never got traction. Like I posted it on LinkedIn, Twitter, never got any traction whatsoever. So I'm like, maybe I need to put it somewhere that more people are going to see stuff. So that's when I found Medium. I saw other people were posting on there. I'm like, okay, this might help. And so once I started on Medium, I started like making sure that like, as I wrote, I'm writing it from the perspective of this is this person's first time doing this. So I try and give like little tips. Like it could be something as simple as, hey, you want to copy Control-C and paste Control-V. Or recently, because I started learning Vim, I'll add those in there. Like use your favorite text editor. For me, I like to use Vim, and I'll throw like a couple of the little shortcuts in there to help. It's just like little things like that I've been told are what take the blog so much further than just other ones that are out there. For me, I try and make it like I'm also working with the person going through it, because essentially I'm going through it and writing my experience, and I want it to feel like I am next to that person helping them. And
That's
so
awesome.
Occasionally when I do get a question of, hey, I didn't get this answer on this question, which typically is because TryHackMe changed the answer. And that's a whole other thing that I'm contemplating about. I'll say, well, this is how you should be able to get it. Go like, and usually that's all that they have to do is as long as they follow those steps, they'll get that answer. Like the actual answer is not important. It's the steps getting to the answer that are really what's the key is. So
Yep.
I just realized the first website on how to get out of Vim probably has like 1 million clicks, right? Like that's
Yeah. Like if I was going to write something about Vim, it'd be like escape :
right quit.
WQ.
I think
that's the only thing I like to do in Vim.
I think the first time I got stuck in Vim, I just closed the terminal. I'm like,
I'm out. You're like, nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I think I burned down whole Kali instances just because it was like, I'm stuck in Vim. I'm just gonna burn this and restart myself.
Yeah.
I luckily at my previous job we had access to LinkedIn Learning, and so I took just the video course on Vim, and so that's what I went through and just ended up learning it that way.
How long was it?
There's a game for learning Vim. When I started down it, Vim Adventure.
Yeah.
And I realized I don't hate myself that much. I'll just open Nano. Yeah. But I'm not an analyst. Do you find yourself using it?
You're going to make some nerds so angry by saying,
oh my gosh,
get roasted now.
Please come at me.
Not as much as I was at the previous job. I don't get to use Linux as much. I'm more Windows based now. So I'm finding myself switching over more. And since I'm working in Windows, I've started learning PowerShell. In fact, I'm going through the slowly, but going through the book of the learning PowerShell on a month of lunches, which it's going to be longer than a month.
I got an interesting question because I know you and I have a long history. We talked a lot, and I know you struggled getting into the industry and went through all these writing blogs, right? Doing webcasts every now and then. And what do you think is the biggest difference between you doing all that entry level training and then your actual when you finally got a job? Like, is it a lot different than you thought it was going to be, or is it exactly you thought? Like, I'm sitting here staring at logs all day.
To be honest, actually, it is different than what I thought it would be. Because, and I had a talk similar with somebody else recently about this, that a lot of SOC analyst jobs have more IT in it than you would expect. And, like going through the TryHackMe SOC level 1, it makes you feel like, yeah, you're going to be staring at logs. You're going to be like parsing through, forensics and all this stuff. To be honest, I don't do that as much. And so, I don't want to say it was a letdown. It really wasn't a letdown. It was just not what I was expecting.
Is it easier? Different?
I believe so.
Hard to say.
I believe so. Just because with it being more IT based, I feel like it's a little bit easier, definitely a little bit more entry level than you would be expecting. But also with what I'm coming into it, with it being a small SOC, it doesn't have a lot of the stuff that's built out yet. And that's what I'm hoping to do with me being where I'm at, is I want to help build out processes and build out their SOC so that it has room to grow and it can flourish.
Nice. That
was a good answer.
What got you into cybersecurity? What's kind of your hacker origin story?
So, funny enough, back in 2020, 3 days into the year, I blew my knee out on a trampoline. I wasn't even doing anything crazy. I went there with my oldest and we were just jumping, and my knee went one way and the other, and I tore all the ligaments. It was awful. I ended up having to get surgery for ligament reconstruction, and I I got it done right before hospitals got closed down for COVID. So I was off my feet for 6 weeks. I couldn't do anything. And the job I was doing at the time was very physically demanding. So I was like, I can't go back to doing that. I have to do something else. And I've always really enjoyed computers. So I'm like, okay, well, I originally looked into IT and tech. And so I'm like, I'm watching some video. I'm watching Zach Hill's videos. I'm watching Network Chuck's videos. I'm watching Udemy's, learning what I can while I can't do anything. And then as I'm doing that, I'm starting to also learn about cybersecurity. And of course, as anybody that learns about cybersecurity, I want to do red. I want to be on the hacker side. That's so cool. But then as I'm doing it, I'm like, I don't feel like I don't feel like this is suited for me. I have lots of self-doubt. So I'm like, I don't feel like I'm going to be good in this position. So I end up like looking, and I see the blue team. And I also like to equate this to a lot of the role, like I'm a video gamer. A lot of the roles I like to play are tanks. And so defensive roles. So I like
speak my language. Yeah.
So I'm like,
yeah, good point.
I want to so I find the blue team and I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. Like defeating an attacker's best laid plans because they can't get you because you're too strong.
Yeah.
And so that was my whole thought process is as I'm looking at blue team, I'm like, I really like this side, like stop the attacker. I don't want to say laugh in their face, just be like, haha, I stopped your best laid plan. And so that's how I kind of got into that. And so then I started focusing more on TryHackMe on the blue team side. And I'm just learned about KC7 from
Jibby.
From Jibby. I learned
his
about
talk
that
last week, or
yeah. And so I learned about that, and I'm like, this looks really cool. And so I'm probably going to start working on those as well.
Nice, very nice. We should talk to them about a sponsorship, but
they're a nonprofit. They don't want to sponsor us. They don't. We just
we'll just keep talking about it. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. No, that's you hit some very good points. One of the things I don't think I talk about this a lot is when I got my first security job, it was an entry-level SOC analyst, right? And my plan was to move internally to their sysadmin role. Like I didn't want to be in security right off the bat. Like I didn't really know what I had stumbled across. So I was full on planning going sysadmin, then realized, all right, that isn't that great. But so I feel like the IT role, right, then into security, especially, is usually fairly common.
So do you feel like it's everything you thought it would be, or you hoped it would be? Sorry, kind of getting a little meta.
I'd say I want to say yes and no.
Sure.
Like in my mind, yeah, I'm going into it thinking like I'm going to be wading through logs all day. And so that was my thought is like, I'll be getting these alerts. Once I get the alert, I'll be diving into logs. But in where I'm at now, like it's not like that, but it's still SOC. Like I'm still doing things SOC related, but it's not what I was expecting. So like, while yeah, I'm not doing that, I have to be like, I'm doing this, and this can turn into that, but this is where this is at right now. And like I said, I'm not disappointed. But yeah, if that makes sense.
No, it makes the role you're in is probably the more dominant security position in the world it is already, right? Like not a lot of huge corporations have full blown, like it takes like Fortune 100 to have a full blown SOC, right? And usually half of it's going to be like outsourced to some other MSP, right? Unless you're working for an MSP. Even then, when you're working for an MSP, it's not like you're like downloading logs and using grep and sed to go through the logs all day. So 90% of my job, like my first MSP, was downloading logs and using Excel pivot charts to then like make a document and then to send it to a customer. Like, hey, here's what you guys should look at. Right. And I was like, this is the stupidest thing ever. Like, I thought I was going to be like catching bad guys and like doing all sorts of crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, you're just telling people, hey, you need to reconfigure this.
It's crazy how much of life comes back to Excel spreadsheets.
It always comes back to spreadsheets. Yeah, it all comes back to spreadsheets.
What's your favorite tool? Wade is always very outspoken about his opinions on what tool he would prefer to use and which tool he would rather poke an eye out than have to use. What's kind of your go-to tool?
I'm literally setting up a new tool right now, or at least like I have the instruction manuals to how to set up a new SEM like in another tab. I plan on doing after this call.
So I don't want to say it's necessarily a tool, more of a utility, but VS Code, because it's so versatile.
Yeah.
Because you can, with it, I've made lots of different scripts. Even at my previous job, one of the ones I did was checking the legitimacy of a domain. And so I created a Python script that runs through Dig, Whois, and curls a website. So for me, it would end up being VS Code that I can end up building tools from that.
Sure.
And so that's probably what I use the most.
Nice. There's a lot of
so
functionality.
So you said to code, like to actual code is your answer.
Yeah.
I literally thought you said the S code. And I looked up, I'm like, I've never heard of a tool called the S code. And that's what I was
VS Code.
VS Code.
Microsoft's Visual Studio Code.
That doesn't count. Gosh. No, that's a good one. Honestly, I feel like the VS Code, or at least just learning how to code in general. Like I was told at the very like my first IT job, like you should probably learn Python. There's a dude who was like a Python wizard there. And it took me like 4 years in security where I'm like, I should probably learn Python.
It's nice to be able to just be like, oh, you know what? I want to do a thing. And do the thing. PowerShell is kind of a neat one if it's a Windows specific sort of thing you wanted to do.
They have PowerShell for Linux. You can I don't know why you would, but you can, right? Like
it's like your Linux, just use Bash. It just does it.
So yeah, I was gonna say VS Code. Recently I did use Wireshark for a little bit because I was looking at some network traffic, trying to find some stuff. But yeah, probably VS Code would be my go-to.
Nice.
I don't know if we ever talked about this on stream, but I definitely did at several like security meetups. I have never worked at a corporation that had full PCAP anywhere. And so like I feel like Wireshark is just such a well-known tool that like everyone tells you like, oh yeah, I should, because it definitely teaches fundamentals of everything that's there, but never have had to use it in an actual corporation.
Interesting. I think that's a interesting comparison because Wade, you've been in some like big organizations, you've been banks, and Hergovich, you're at a financial institution now, right? Is that but it's kind of a smaller stock, it sounds like.
Yes.
And you don't need to talk about it if you don't want it to.
Yeah.
Forget the thing.
That's one of the hard things about talking to blue teamers about like, work stuff. It's like, well, if you say anything, you're kind of giving away.
You're definitely giving away.
How you do
unless you're working for a managed security provider where you can like talk about like different customers, right? That's pretty much what red teamers get to do. But now that I've worked at a large amount of places, I can almost sometimes slide stuff in there.
Yeah, it sounds like you kind of have to use the tools that you've got access to get the stuff done.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I can be a little bit more candid if you ever see me at like a conference or something and you want to ask me any questions, I can be a little bit more candid there. Of course, I'm not going to give away all the secrets, but like, yeah, I'll gladly, I'll talk with anybody about it. And if anybody has any questions.
One of those, when you meet someone at the conference and you're talking about real stuff, you do a little bit of that screening of like, this isn't confidential. This isn't classified. Like, this isn't company like stuff, but it's also like, is what you're going to say in a podcast and what you'll say to someone who like, a little bit more about. Yeah.
Or at least have seen their face a couple of times.
Right.
Another great thing about you, Dan, is all of the communities you're involved in. So you just like before this call, you told us you were on another stream, which I did not know you did streams with them. So I'm like, great. There goes Dan doing.
That was actually the first one I did with them.
Oh,
I try to tune into them when I can. But that was the first time that I actually joined in the actual stream. So, but I mean, I hop all over the place, unfortunately.
Were you in the Simply Cyber live stream earlier too?
I was. I didn't get
chat.
on stage, but I was in the chat. And luckily with my job now, I'm able to sit and be able to watch most of those because at my previous job, like every 3 months, my hours would change. And so it could be that like the 3 months beforehand, I was Tuesday through Saturday, 1 p.m. to midnight. And so I'm like, I'm not getting up early to do the like,
yeah.
So yeah.
Catch the recording.
Yeah. And so, but with my hours now, I can catch all the streams. And so, and most of the time I am a lurker just because I'm doing it while working. But I try and chime in when I can or something kind of hits me. But I know coming up in November for John's Pay What You Can class on MITRE, I did sign up for that, and I'll probably be sitting in the tech support channel to help out where I can.
Very nice.
How do you feel? I'm trying to word this question not too philosophically. How do you feel community has affected you, at least going through cyber so far?
Oh, I think it has a huge effect. I don't think that I would have the position I do have today without community. And I think I keep saying, like you said it best during your keynote, Wade, it's not network, it's connections. Like network brings them together, but the connection is what matters. Like you can have a giant network, but if you have no connection with any of the people in the network, then what's the point of the network?
Right.
And so while it was the network played in me getting my job, it was the connections I made within that network that secured me that position. And so the community, being in the communities that I am, I try and give as much as I can. I mean, I'm trying to step back a little bit because, as Jerry said, like put your family first and everything else after that. And I even noticed like I'd get off work and then I'd go sit on the couch with my laptop to do TryHackMe or something. And I'm like, no, that's the time I should be spending with my family. And so, I'm getting better with it. I'm not doing it as much as I was. But yeah, the putting family first is what matters. And, I know we're going a little off topic of what you did say, but
you're all good.
But yeah, the community, I started out, I think, in the Black Hills community. I talked with Deb at B-Side Charm, and she told me about the Discord. She told me about the Pay What You Can classes. And to be honest, the first couple weeks after that, I kind of brushed it off. But then I remembered about it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's look into this. And so I did. And I started, like, I signed up for John's class for the Pay What You Can. I ended up doing all three of them, which I called the Triforce of Power. And so, which I even hung them up in my office like a Triforce kind of. So, and but then I started kind of growing in the community there. I would make memes like that. Those first couple, I was actually doing a new meme of John each day of his class and posting it on Twitter. And I did some very interesting ones of him. I think I did him as Link one time. But yeah.
No, I remember hearing about them and not being in the class and them being like, there's this dude who keeps creating memes at John and they're great. And then like they would float over into like the private Discord chats. And I'm like, this is crazy. I was like, God.
But that was kind of how like I started out, and I started making the memes, and it got me some notoriety in Black Hills from that. And I even had like occasionally I'll still have like some of the employees like, hey, can you do a meme of this with this person? And I'll do it. But if they're not specific, like one of the most recent ones was Tim Fowler. Ashley wanted me to put him on like in an astronaut outfit. But she gave me the picture, and she wasn't specific, and it had a cat's head on the actual astronaut. So I did one with his head, but then I did one where his face was on the cat. And so, so like, yeah, if they don't get super specific with it, I'll do stuff like that where, I have a little fun with it. And Tim was very good about it. When I saw him at Wild West, he's like, he was thanking me for being such a big part of the community and whatnot.
A big part you hit on, right? It's not talking about connections and stuff like that. This isn't something that I said, but something I had in my notes. Like if you go into my slide in my notes, there's like a bunch of things I had queued up that I wasn't sure if we're going to fly with people or not. So like I didn't want to say them. Yeah, more pentagrams. Yeah. There's some other stuff, right? I kind of want to go hard on like LinkedIn connections on how they're like kind of just empty at the end of the day, right? Like nobody really cares. There's too many influencers. I wanted to say that in a room full of cyber influencers. I thought it would have been hilarious.
It's all right. You got the jab at me, and I felt loved.
But going back to it, it's not even like the age-old thing. It's not about who you know. It's about what you know. Or it's not about what you know. It's about who you know. And then even now, though, I don't even think it's about who you know. It's about who knows you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they know you well enough to at least vouch for you? I know certain people like won't vouch for people at all, or others are like, yeah, I kind of know that guy. But I have found in the cyber community that if someone vouches for you, usually it holds a lot of weight. And that is right. And when jobs come up, right, if someone thinks of you right away and you're one of the top people, it's always the best thing.
Yeah. 100%. Dude, Dan, I feel like, well, I don't just feel like, I know for a fact that we could chat for hours because we just spent like a whole week doing that, the three of us.
Oh yeah.
So we do need to give people a break at a certain point from all of our awesomeness. Wade, you want to go with your?
Yeah. I don't think it's the same question, but this is the one I have written down. What's your run recommendation for all blue teamers?
Ask it again there.
What's your one recommendation for all blue teamers?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Get good at Photoshop.
Huh?
Get good at Photoshop.
Good at Photoshop. I actually use GIMP because it's free and I don't have to pay for it. So
I use GIMP too. Nope. I wish, man.
Yeah, if you use Vim, GIMP's easy.
So I would say it's hard to pin down one thing.
Make it more vast. Make it like,
or meta.
I would say,
I'll give you
and
top
in fact,
three.
actually, I kind of have an article I wrote about this somewhat.
Okay.
It's like getting started in cyber, which funny enough, I wrote before I got into cyber. I just believed so wholeheartedly in this that's why I wrote it. It was find your community. Like it could be with Black Hills. It could be with Red Siege. It could be with Lima Charlie. It could be with whatever. Find the community that you best fit in. Grow in that community so that you're not only learning yourself, but others can end up learning from you. Because the fact of giving back, I think, is also a huge aspect of what I try and do. is I want people to be able to learn from what I'm learning, like doing the TryHackMe write-ups. I do it as a way that maybe some struggle somebody's having on a room that they don't understand the concept, but they read how I have it written, it might just click in their brain. I guess the one thing would be is as you learn, give back. Like share your knowledge so that others can grow, and you'll see it be rewarded in dividends. Like, if not necessarily in yourself and others.
Good one. Good. That's not something any of the other whatever number of podcasts we're on have said so far. So it's perfect.
Dude, Dan, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
For those who enjoyed this episode, please tune in again next week or whenever. I think this is the end of the season. So in a couple weeks when we've got new episodes, they're going to feel a lot like these. Like, share, do all those fun things, and don't be a stranger. Bye.
Bye.